Hey folks. Well, it's Friday again, and we're going to do another Fixed Blade Friday. So I was back at the camp last weekend, getting things ready for the fall season, cleaning up and rearranging and just getting things ready. And I found another old family knife loves back there. And this was one my father says he bought. He said 40 or 50 years ago. He said he picked it up in Newfoundland. And he paid somewhere $15 to $20 for it. So it was a good chunk of change back then. So here it is. Now, maker-wise, I don't know a whole lot about it. Comes in a leather sheath. It's in rough shape, but you know what? For a knife as old as he claims it is, the sheath is done well. And I remember carrying this knife back in the woods at different times. It is definitely a Skinner. Now, the only mark on it is world famous stainless steel. I don't know what makes it famous or who made it famous. And it says right there, Japan. Still got a good edge on it. Still got a good tip. Cool blade design. Great big swedge at the top. It's in rough shape. Not horrible rough shape, but there's some rust and corrosion. It's been, I think, hanging on a set of antlers for a long time. The handle could use a little work. Sheath definitely needs a treatment. It's pretty dry and brittle. You know what? Give me a few minutes. I'm going to go clean this up, then we'll get back to you. And just like that, with the magic of modern editing, we're back. And here's what we got. So the sheath. 3 treatments of beast foot oil. Soaked it up like a sponge. So then I applied 2 coatings of beeswax and then a final coating of mink oil. So the sheath, if you can hear this, it's got that nice squeaky leathery sound to it again. Nice and flexible again. Not all dried out. Brought some of the color back. Would need some dye to treat the worn spots like that. Darkened it up. Got rid of a lot of the faded areas. Just that one little spot there. Just needs some dye, I think. So part 1 accomplished. Excuse me. Part 2, the knife. Gave it a good mineral oil soak. Oiled the wood a little bit just to bring some of the color and sheen back. Cleaned up all the rust and tarnish and debris that was on the blade. You can see there again the world famous super steel. Now I did do some research and I did find one instance of this exact knife that sold at an auction, and I believe it sold for $30. And again, we have the Japan stamp. So now that we've got it all cleaned up, let's have a closer look. So you've got the upswept blade, recurve blade, with the big swedge at the top. you have some very, very aggressive jimping right here. That's in a really good spot. Excuse me. You can almost saw with this. But very good, very aggressive jimping. You've got what is almost a Scandi grind or a flat grind. The handle is extremely comfortable. Good, thick, rounded scales. You've got just the slightest finger grooves cut into it, which line up very well with my hand. Just fits my hand very well. I've got medium-sized hands. Just a very, very comfortable knife to hold. Very large pins. It's full tang. I don't know if the pins are actually that large or if that's a cap. I'm not going to tear it apart to find out. But we've got it all shined up again. For anyone curious, the blade length is just a hair over 5 inches, and your cutting surface is about 4.5 inches. You've got maybe 1 inch and 1/8 at the widest part of the tang, and probably about 1 inch or a touch throughout the height of your knife. Put a new edge on it. Let's risk a Post-it note. See how well I did. That should do the job. So we may have revived this fella for a new hunt this fall. If anybody knows anything about world famous super stainless, then I'd certainly appreciate knowing it, if you could share that. You've got the tiniest little finger choil there, but you're not going to get a finger in there unless you have really tiny fingers. Not much of a sharpening choil, but very, very nicely designed, I think, knife. Nice skinning knife. And like I say, just super, super comfortable handle. Great jimping just in the right spot. So whatever company or manufacturer made it, I think they did a pretty darn good job with it. So there we have it. All cleaned up and ready to go again. Not the beefiest slip, but you know what? For a 40 or 50-year-old knife, it must be well made because it's held up. Alrighty, folks. Well, that's it for our Fixed Blade Friday. So I hope your day goes by quick. You got some great plans for the weekend. Spend it with family and friends and get out and try and get some time to go to the woods. Go sit by a creek. It's just relaxing, peaceful. After a long, hard week, just go relax in the woods and just, you'll thank me. Trust me. But don't feed the bears. You all have a good weekend.